4.2, question 1, estimate, then calculate. To estimate, round to the nearest whole number. So we've got 1.5 times 3. So 1.5 can be rounded to 2, so then we do 2 times 3, which is 6. So our answer should be kind of close to 6. So 1.5 times 3. I'm going to do 1.5 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Now my answer should be close to 6, which means my decimal is going to be put right there at a 4.5. And that should give you your final answer. So 1.5 times 3 is 4.5. B, 70 times 3.5. So again, round to the nearest whole number. So instead of 3.5, we're going to put 4. So 70 times 4. So we know 7 times 4 is 28. But this is 10 times bigger than 7. So your answer is going to be 10 times bigger. So instead of 28, it's going to be 280. That's your estimate. Again, let's do 3.5 times 70. Actually, I'm going to do this over on the side where there's a little bit more room to work. 3.5 times 70. Well, 0, 0, that's the easy one. Second number always starts with a 0. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus the 3 is 24. So when you add these up, 2450. I know my answer should be close to 280. So my answer is going to be 245.0. So 3.5 times 70 is 245.0. That should be what you have. Question 2, write the place value of the underlying digit. Use the place value chart to help you. Okay, well, here's the decimal right there. So that's going to be our reference. We're going to move either right or left from there to see where we're rounding to. So we're rounding to the second digit from the decimal. 1, 2 to the left. That's our tens. So the place value of the 7 is in the tens. 39.06, it's 1 to the right of the decimal. So decimal to the right 1, that's tenths. Make sure you're paying attention to spelling because that TH makes all the difference between whether it's on the right hand side or the left hand side of that decimal. 501.64, and the 4 is underlined, so that's 2 over from the right, or decimal, so that's the hundredths. And then for part D, 121.72, and we're looking at the 7, that's the first number after the decimal place, which is tenths. All right. Number 3, mental math and estimation. Round to the nearest tenth, so that's the 1 decimal place. So if that's the case, we look at the 7. We're going to keep a number there, and it's either going to stay 7 or move up. This is an 8, which is 5 or higher, so that means our 7 is going to go up, and it's going to be 0.8. Now remember, this is approximately equal to 0.8 because we're rounding. So we use the squiggly equal sign, which means approximately equal to, instead of the straight equal sign, which means equal. Again, we're going to the 1 decimal place here, 0.555. So I want to keep a number here. Look to the right 1. This is 5 or higher, so this is going to become 0.6. Now, rounding to the nearest 100 is 2 decimal places. So 1, 2, we want 2 numbers. The third number is a 4, so that means we don't have to change our 3. So it's going to be 0.63. 2 decimal places here, 1, 2 on the 6. The 9 tells us that we're going to have to change the 6 to a 7. Like that. Same process again, but now we're going to the thousandth, or 3 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3. We look at the 4th number. That's 4 or smaller, so we don't have to worry about changing anything. It's just going to become 0.344. On this one, 1, 2, 3 decimal places. The next digit is a 6, so this 7 then becomes an 8. That's your answer for rounding. All right, question 6. Find 60% of $20. And it's giving you a hint here. 60% we know is the same as 50% plus 10%. So 50% of something is half of it. So if you take half of $20, you're going to have $10. Plus 10%. Well, 10% is 1/10 of the item. So 20 divided by 10 is 2. So 50% plus 10% gives us 60%. And so that's 10 plus 2 is $12. So $12 is 60% of $20. So use what you know. You know how to figure out 50. You know how to figure out 10. Calculate them out and then put them together to get your final answer. Question 7. 50% of 20. Like I said, 50% is half. So half of 20 is 10. 10% of 90, 10% of something is 1/10 of it, so you divide it by 10. 90 divided by 10 is 9. Now probably the easiest questions on the page, I hope anyway. Any number times 1 is just the same number, so 45 times 1 is 45. Any number times 0 becomes 0, so 4.8 times 0 is just 0. And so there's your warm-up.